This morning we have had an interactive stakeholder sensitization session on the medium-term plan for the MTP IV. As you are aware, any planning framework or policy formulation framework has to be as participatory as possible. In the process of developing the medium-term plan for, the national government worked with all integral stakeholders segments by way of seeking views of those integral stakeholder segments so that they could input into the process. So they were brought on board from the very beginning. But with the document being ready now, another integral component of any planning framework is implementation. And a critical success factor in implementation is ownership. So ownership of MTP IV must lie with the integral stakeholder segments to facilitate ease of implementation. And that is why the national government, working in partnership with the county governments, are sensitizing the integral stakeholder segments on the MTP IV so that they can get fully conversant with the programs, projects, activities that are entailed therein, so that over and above that ownership, they can also hold the implementing agencies to account in terms of very, very clear performance indicator at the end of the activity period. That ownership is also important because it will facilitate dissemination of the content of the MTP IV to the wider public. As you are aware, in the implementation of MTP IV, we will be rolling out programs and projects which are relevant to Kisumu County. It is these same integral stakeholder segments who will disseminate to the people, the general public, the programs and activities which the government will roll out within Kisumu County. We are working in partnership with the county governments. There is no development agenda that the national government will undertake that will not take place in a given county. Similarly, the county governments are working in collaboration with the national government in the rollout of projects. That's why we say that the two levels of government are independent of each other but interdependent and complementary to each other. We need to work together in implementation of development programs. Equally, let me emphasize that in the development of the MTP IV, there was effective alignment at all levels. One, at macro level planning framework, the MTP IV was effectively aligned to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which is the overall policy document on the basis of which our planning framework and development agenda is anchored. That better plan entails the thematic areas of agriculture, affordable housing, universal healthcare, small and medium enterprises, then the digital economy, and the national superhighway and the digital economy. In equal measure, the county governments have got the integrated development plans, the CIDPs, the county integrated development plans. In the development of those plans, the county governments have also taken into context the macro level planning framework. So they have also aligned to the better plan, they have also equally aligned to the MTP IV. But we also recognize as a country that we don't operate in a vacuum. We operate within a wider context of regional, continental, and even global planning framework. So the MTP IV itself is also aligned to the ESC Vision 2030, the AU's Agenda 2063, and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This is the planning framework we envisage so that all the planning and policy documents speak to each other as opposed to being discordant to each other. That will then subsequently facilitate seamless implementation of projects that are aligned at all levels, both locally and internationally. For all the projects in the MTP IV, we have got very clear implementation timelines, clear responsibility centers, clear expected outputs and output indicators on the basis of which implementation or otherwise of those projects will be ascertained. We also have a results matrix where we have got very clear yearly targets so that the sum total of our performance over the 5-year period will give us the expected outputs for each program or activity or project. So we have got an implementation framework and also a results matrix that will be used for purposes of monitoring and evaluation and reporting. One of the integral approaches that we have adopted is to ensure that the stakeholders in each and every county get to know the performance indicators. So over and above sensitizing them on the MTP4, we also urge them to be conversant with the performance indicators, because it's on the basis of this that they will hold the responsibility centers to account at the end of the activity period. We are going the full length as government to ensure that we digitalize all government services, digitize all government records, enhance the level of digital skills all over the country, starting with our youth. That is why we are establishing in each and every ward a digital center where we are going to train youth, connect them also to global technological companies for purposes of digital jobs. But to augment our M&E framework, we are ensuring, working together with the Ministry of Planning, that the monitoring, evaluation and reporting framework is fully automated, so that at the press of a button, you are able to ascertain the implementation status of each program. Where there is a warning sign, that you are lagging behind, you should be able to see a red. Yeah? Where you are doing well, you should be able to see a green. At the press of a button, we want automated monitoring, evaluation and reporting framework at all levels, at the levels of the national government, at the levels also of the county governments. We also want to appeal to all stakeholders to play their role by providing oversight. There is no better oversight than oversight that is provided by the public, because these services, projects, programs are being delivered in the interest of the public. So the public should ensure that they hold both levels of government to account by way of implementation of the planned programs and activities in MTP4. On our side, we will ensure that the monitoring, evaluation and reporting framework is fully automated. Good.